Hello, everyone. It's Granny again. So grab your beverage of choice and come on and sit down at my table and let's have a chat about the ongoing Sebastian Rogers case. As I stated, we're starting out at the beginning. We're trying to see what clues we can get that we haven't noticed before. The first day we kind of went over what were the facts that we knew. And we talked about what was kind of weird to us, like Sebastian leaving with no shoes. There was no scent. How could there not be a scent when he left barefooted? Right? That was weird. Um, then we, kind of talked about what he did um, the day before, and we talked about, what high functioning autistic people look like. What are, what are the symptoms that they display? And what we really learned is exactly what Chris and Katie told us, that he has a problem with social cues. He doesn't understand what to do when he meets somebody. He wants to be right up in their face. And so he has trouble making friends because of that. So, um, those things line up with what the parents told us. Well, now we're going to start into some of the interviews that the parents did. Um, and we're going to start off with Katie and Chris Proudfoot's first interview, and it was with um, Duchess. And I'll put her link in the description below for you so that you have that. Um, so let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen for you. And that's not going to work. Let's try this way. All right. So here we go.
Looks like that we have them coming up on panel. So if you guys will please welcome Sebastian's parents to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you joining us.
You're welcome.
We had a really good conversation today, and I appreciate you being willing to talk to me about Sebastian going missing. So I guess I will just kind of start out with tell me what happened the day that Sebastian went missing. I know that his mom said that he was having a good day. He had had a great weekend. So do you want to walk us through what that looks like again for everybody?
He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
And you did tell me that Sebastian is not a runner.
He's not.
It's okay. Take your time.
Sebastian does not have a history of running. I mean, the young man doesn't go outside very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He is very to himself, so to speak. Between the hours of 12 and 6, He has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at
Okay, so I wanted to stop it there. They talked about the shoes being missing, um, and that from the hours of 12 to 6, somewhere in there, he just went missing and all the doors were locked when she got up. So, in later interviews, or maybe even in this interview, I don't remember, she had stated that if he went out the front door, which is the door he most used, that that door locks behind him. But if he went out the back door, that door would not lock behind him. He'd have to have a key from the outside to lock it. I don't know what that means. If it's just a deadbolt, is that all it is? Because I know that, if you have a doorknob that just has the lock in the center of the knob, you can actually turn that lock and close the door, and the door's locked. So, I mean, we don't know. We don't know what kind of locks they have on their house, but I'm just saying that's, a possibility. But we still go back to there was no scent. The dogs didn't pick up a scent outside the house, and they would have if he had left because he was barefooted. Let's continue on.
work. You were out of town at work,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight.
Midnight.
And nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way
Okay.
there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time.
Okay. Maybe this is the way that Chris talks, but I've never heard anyone address their wife to say me and the mom. Is that weird, you guys? Let me know what you think. I myself find that very, very strange. I don't know. Find that very, very strange.
Call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch.
Again, Mom did slightly start falling asleep. My wife did slightly start falling asleep. Katie did slightly start falling asleep. Yeah. My opinion, guys.
I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So then Mom does go to bed and wakes up early in the morning to go wake her son.
So then Mom did go to bed and wakes up early in the morning.
Son up, get him ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house.
And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house.
Mom,
What about, and now my wife is really worried she can't find our son in the house. Right?
made an effort to look and search several times. Um, Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
And you had told me that there hadn't been any particular situation that had occurred where you felt like there would have been something that happened. And I also had asked you if there were any friends that Sebastian might have possibly left the house with, or if he had any contact with anyone on social media. Do you want to comment about that again?
He doesn't have a social media.
Okay.
And the only friends that he had were a couple of kids in school.
Okay.
All the kids that have had any interaction with him have been interviewed and asked.
Okay.
We as parents know how social media can be,
Right.
and seeing how kids can be easily manipulated. Um,
He's very young in mind.
yes, he may be.
Right.
He's about 15, and he's 15 in age in his body, but his mind is not caught up to his body. Um, but that is something that goes through with autistic children, as everybody would know.
Right.
But for the record, I am a very strict parent. He does not have social media, not in our household. He doesn't online game. I'm pretty strict when it comes to that kind of situation.
Well, that's good. That's good, Chris, that you have control of that, because social media can be very dangerous for young kids, because they don't realize who they may be talking to on social media. So it's always good to have that awareness and to make sure you're monitoring, what your kids are doing. So I had asked you both, did you have any idea what would make Sebastian want to suddenly leave the house? And you told me, well, that's the $1 million question that everybody wants to know. All the detectives, they've all asked that same question. What is it that happened that caused him to leave the house? And I know you must be so worried and so concerned. Is there anything, if Sebastian were listening to this live stream right now, if you knew that he was out there, what would you want to tell him?
That we love you and to come home.
I mean, it's pretty simple. This boy has a very large family that everybody is asking the question, where are you? We love you, and please come home.
Yes. We definitely need to find him as soon as possible. If you live in this area, please search your property every day. He could be on the move. Just because you've already searched your property one time doesn't mean that you don't need to continue to search your property on a daily basis, just to be sure. If you have a lot of land, it needs to be searched, just to be sure, because he may be lost. He may be somewhere and he can't find his way back. So that's why it's very critical. Can you talk to me about the search and rescue efforts? Are they searching on land, air? They also have dive teams there. What can you tell us about that?
So currently, as of today, the National Guard was also brought in to help with the search, but they have had fixed wing aircraft, helicopters, horseback ATVs, side by side, door to door, scouring every neighborhood possible. I mean, the outreach from the community and various counties has been extremely welcoming, loved. I mean, we've been told this is probably one of the largest searches that they've conducted, with so much input that it's a case to be studied for sure.
You have a lot of people that are praying and supporting you right now. Was his ask, would he be able to ride a city bus?
Um, Nothing is off the table as far as abilities. Could the young man get on a bus? I'm sure he could.
We've never done it before.
We've never rode a city bus, so I don't think he understands the process. He doesn't have any sense of money. He may have, like, let's say, a $20 bill in his hand, but he doesn't truly understand what $20 would get him.
He's good
Right.
at math, but he doesn't
I understand.
understand time and money.
And single mom says, does he want his real father? Maybe. I'm just asking. Well, it turns out, single mom, that, he sees his real father every other weekend. And the real father, he is heavily involved in this situation and is aware. And he doesn't know where Sebastian is either, correct?
Correct. I mean, I can tell you this.
His father's very much involved in his life.
Yes, very much involved in his life. The relationship between all three of us as parents is not your common one. I mean, me and the father talk on a regular basis. We call each other, we talk. Hey, if we heard anything, how's he doing? Is he acting up? Um, I mean, it's not, there's no really animosity in between the parents.
That's good. That's good. Discovering the truth. Thank you for being here. They say, did he have any special interest like trains?
I find that a little different looking back at the situation now, because we know that the parents are not working together. And if you look at like the Petitos and the Schmidt family, when Gabby went missing, the four of them were like glue. They were together, they were looking, they were pleading, and they're still together, with the organization that they have. That's not the case with these parents at all. So looking back, for me to hear Chris say that they get along really well, there's no contention, I have to question that.
Parks, friends, maybe a school bus route that he loved. My son elopes and loves trains, so he heads to the tracks.
He loves playgrounds.
Yeah, he loves playgrounds. I mean, he loves to play. I'll give him that. Friends wise,
He wants friends.
Sebastian, his idea of his friend is right now is what he has two kids that he talks to at school, but he is extremely socially awkward. And so it's very difficult for him to make friends, which has been this boy's only lifelong dream. I mean, Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I want friends. Birthday, I want friends. Anything that he could do to get a friend, he would love to do it, which is potentially dangerous because that could open up doors if for somebody to say, hey, I'll be your friend, and potentially cause harm.
Kim Holmes asked if there's any cameras in the area, and I did see Kim.
Okay, that was a red flag to me. First of all, it broke my heart to hear that Sebastian for Christmas said the only thing he wanted was friends. That breaks my heart, guys. Secondly, that it was said that then him having friends could potentially open a door that could be dangerous. Come on. If you're if you're supervising your child in whatever it is that he's doing, which in my opinion, an autistic child who their words, his brain hasn't caught up to his body, I believe is what he said. If that's the case, then you're going to be supervising them all the more. But as a parent, you're not going to deter having friends. Are you? Come on. Ugh.
him that they were asking for people that had any Ring doorbell footage or any businesses that had camera footage. Talk to us about that, Chris. We did speak about that briefly earlier about the people getting all the footage, but they haven't found anything.
Our entire neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods have voluntarily and with generosity given up any video footage that they've got. I mean, they have let the departments come in and view and monitor. So as far as cameras, everybody has turned over everything. There's thousands of hours of stuff that they are combing through to
Right.
try to find an answer.
It looks like Tish is local to the area. She said, I go to the grocery store or anywhere and our eyes are peeled looking for him. I work at a local restaurant and I'm checking cars as they come through the drive-thru every day. Bless you, Tish. I know this family is very grateful. Discovering the Truth says, so he probably knows the route to his father's house. So maybe he was in the process of heading in that direction.
That has not been ruled out. I mean, like I said, the search that they are conducting is extremely widespread and thorough.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody is ruling that out as a possibility.
But normally when he wants to go to his dad's, he just says so. And we just call his dad.
Yeah, I mean, it's dad will come down here. We meet him halfway. I mean, there's this. He's never wanted to go to his dad's and not been able to go. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I mean,
RQ, thank you for being a member for 6 months. All of this is very, very helpful to help us, better understand the situation that we're dealing with. And I did see a post on Facebook that it looked like everybody was asked to wear green on Friday because green is Sebastian's favorite color. What else can you tell us about Sebastian?
He is an avid Minecraft fan. Loves the color green. It's got the goofiest and quirky smile in the world. I don't think anybody could mimic it, to be honest with you.
He looks like he's such a sweet young man. He
loves to dance. That boy he'll dance his tail off.
Hey,
sure.
There's nothing wrong with that. Dancing is good for you. It's good exercise too. I just really hope they can find some answers. Now, I did ask you guys because, I know that sometimes when we're looking for autistic children that go missing, a lot of times people are concerned that they may be attracted to go towards the water. So talk to us about that. Is he a good swimmer? Does he like to get in the water? I think you did mention some things about that to me earlier.
So he's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now that but here's the distinction. He is not a child that likes to get dirty. He can't stand his hands dirty. He can't stand bugs. He is fearful of flies and things. So if he swims, he is a pool kid. He's not I'm a river and a stream kind of kid. He is swimming pool bound.
Discovering the Truth, I'm sure that they are probably looking into that. Now, I know.
So we learned a couple more things here about Sebastian. He doesn't like to get dirty. I mean, we knew about the dirt on his feet, but that was basically because of the red ant issue, right? That's where I took that. But now we've learned he doesn't like to get dirty. So he's not going to go playing around in a creek or a river, but he would go into a pool. That's really good to know. And he likes to dance. We learned that. I like knowing more about Sebastian.
That you said there was some misinformation that was going around and you wanted to make a clarification. You did tell me that TBI, was assisting, but that there was some confusion. People thought that FBI was actually assisting in this case. Talk to me about what you spoke about earlier to me on our phone call about how FBI is that they were consulted, and the card team, I guess there is a discussion going on as to whether he qualifies as, for the child abduction response team.
So the FBI is not physically on the ground. Somewhere in one of the news clips, I think it was reported that the FBI had made it on the ground. They're not. TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, has reached out to the behavioral analysis team or their CART team, and they are trying to work with them from a distance. They're not physically present, to help in any way, form, shape that they can render their assistance.
Okay. Light and sound, thank you for being here. Have burner phones been looked into? I know some teens sneak phones from their parents or maybe his computer use at school to see if he has been chatting.
Evidence of a secret phone.
Okay, good. Because digital evidence is really important. They want to make sure that he's not speaking to anybody. This is such an unusual case.
This case is extremely unusual. Like I said before, we are pretty strict when it comes to certain things. As far as comms, communication, electronic devices, there was only one phone that he had. It was extremely locked down. He had access to his phone, his text message, to only his contacts list, a camera, and a calculator, and that is it.
He's a pretty happy kid usually.
He seems like it, and I know that you love him very much. I know that I can remember earlier in our conversation, you were referring to him as Bubba, and I think that's sweet. I call my son Bubba also, so that really tore at my heartstrings because my son, he's 30, but he's still Bubba to me. So that name is going to stick forever. It's just how it is. Cindy Caton, thank you for being here. She says, are there any old wells that maybe he accidentally fell in, or any areas or mines that he might be at risk of coming in contact with? I know sometimes those things occur out in Tennessee. The divers, have they found any possible leads? I know that I heard that there was a possible pond that they were draining. You did tell me they were searching all of the pipes.
Yes. So when it comes to address her question as far as wells and things, I'm sure there's plenty of those around here.
They're searching them.
They actually pulled data for all the caves, underground voids, all of that stuff that could be accessible. They've brought in teams from all over the state that specialize in either cave explorations, water recovery rescues. We don't know that they have drained a pond. I can say that much, but they have searched, they've dived them all for sure. They've walked, I couldn't tell you how many miles of creeks and waterways, and they've used cameras. The sewers, it's not really the sewers they're looking in. It's the drainage pipes. So that's for clarification. Sewer pipes, we're not going to find a child in. Those are enclosed and secured, but the runoffs, water runoffs, were all searched by a dive team.
Okay. And I know Ginger Snap said is law enforcement looking into the possibility that he met a friend through Minecraft. I hope that they would just go ahead and vet all of that just to make sure, because you never know. I'm not really sure how all of that works because I'm not a gamer, but I know that there are ways that you can communicate, like via Xbox, because my son is a gamer. So, and Gabrielle, I believe that you guys were at the Costco on Saturday. That's when you took the picture of him, correct?
Yes, my wife was at Costco on Saturday.
Yeah, not
the shirt
Sunday.
that's in the flyer where it says Optimism was on a Saturday. They were at BJ's on Sunday.
And when
it comes to
a restaurant or?
No, they are all wholesale, like a commissary style stores where they sell in bulk.
Oh, okay, okay. So Costco
So
Saturday, BJ's on Sunday.
yes,
He
ma'am.
loves to eat all the samples, and BJ's is new, so I took him.
You're a good mom.
And when it comes to like the one mentioned about Minecraft, like I stated before, he does not have any way to come with anybody on any form of online gaming. That is extremely restrictive. We don't allow that because of what can come of it.
They combed all of the
Um,
electronics.
I can tell you this with no hesitation. Anything and everything we have given to the police and any other law enforcement to have them completely scan, uh, validate everything, and they are currently.
Okay, so Chris and Katie state that there's no way that he would have access to online gaming. They're very strict, and their controls are pretty restrictive. I do like what they said because she actually talked about. We know that they drained the pond, one of the ponds, but that they were also looking into the pipes. I liked that because I don't remember hearing that before. And that they were, there's a lot of caves in the area, that kind of thing. So, it sounds, with the National Guard and everything else that they had out there, it sounds like they were very thorough. I mean, that doesn't mean they couldn't have missed a spot. You know, we've heard that a lot, kind of like in the case of Elijah Few, he was found where they had already searched. So, it's possible.
I mean, everything is empty. I mean, they were like, "You guys are pretty good at." I said, "Yes, sir. We don't believe in allowing the kids to communicate through social media or through any type of gaming."
Looks like Missing in USA says, why are they wanting camera footage from Sunday afternoon? Because,
That we cannot release right now.
okay,
That is not
I
something that
understand.
has been authorized us to
Right.
put out to the public.
And we respect that 100%. Ginger Snap says, I was reading that his favorite song is Eye of the Tiger. That's a great song.
He's got an eclectic taste of music. He's a fan of Eddie Vedder. He
Oh, well,
likes
he's great.
Survivor. Oh yeah, I mean young man has a very eclectic taste in music.
Likes
And you told me that
Taylor
he
Swift,
loves to play
Carrie
chess.
Underwood.
And he loves to play chess,
He has a
right?
crush on Taylor Swift.
Ooh, he has her boyfriend better watch out then. Was 911 allowed to be called? Rhonda asks.
On the cell phone, is that what she's referring to?
Yes, I believe so. Is that what you're asking,
All
Rhonda?
device, all devices that have communications um, have the ability to call 911. Believe it or not, most cell phones that are not even connected to service have an ability to actually call 911.
Okay, so just as regards to this 911 allowed to being called, any phone, even if it doesn't have service, can call 911. The thing to remember here is that Sebastian did not take his phone.
Yeah, you can pick one up off the shelf at a store and most will call.
Yeah, that's become a federal thing. That's not a service provided. That is like a federal thing.
We
Right.
wouldn't restrict safety features even if we could.
Yeah, safety is not restricted in this house.
Okay, I do have one other question before I read what was his is saying. There was something I was going to ask you. Let's go ahead and do was his question right now. Shackle Island Road and New Shackle Island Road, are they in the same area?
New Shackle Island Road runs parallel to Long Island. Old Shackle Island Road is actually farther directionally. It would actually be south in front of the hospital, the Hendersonville Hospital. That is roughly, I think, 4 or 5 miles from our house.
Okay. Okay. Single Mom, that's your favorite song too. Now, something I do want to ask you is because I've been watching social media because that's what I do. I share missing cases on lots of different social media platforms, and I was very disappointed when you told me that people were harassing you and attacking you. Is there anything that you want to put to rest while you're here tonight or make clear to the public about this situation? I know you told me there was a statement that you wanted me to make about you and the mom and the dad. So if you want to make any clarification about that, you have free reign to do so. We will not allow you to be disrespected here on this platform.
Um, I have no malice or ill intent toward anybody. Everybody has an opinion.
Of course.
But what is factual is that the father, the mother, and myself have been extremely cooperative. We have been vetted. We have been checked out. We have been questioned and everything of that nature, and literally have been cleared. There is no wrongdoing. There is no negative input from the parents or any of the family.
Okay, so when he says that all three of them have been cleared, I'm not saying he's lying because maybe he thought he was, but that's not true. Because to this day, 7 months later, they still have not cleared anyone. Not one person. So I just wanted to clarify.
You know, and it's hard for a lot of folks. I mean, I will be honest and say this out loud. I have a custody case that is currently going on in another state, which has been brought to public light because people feel that they want to judge and think that they understand what's currently going on, and they don't. Because of that, I am being looked at in a very foul way. Um, I
Hmm.
I don't need to repeat anything that's being said, but
Right. I
you
understand.
know,
But
and it's
people that are
perfectly
there's
okay.
people that's probably seen it on social media, and I want you to be able to have the opportunity to defend yourself. We have 248 people watching right now, and I'm sure that anyone that's watching this on the live stream, please respect this family. I mean, you can't have an idea of possibly what they are going through, and it's really not any of your business what is going on. And I understand that you do see your other child, which, and that doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian. And you guys are on good terms with his father. There's not like there's any custody battle between the mother and Sebastian's father. I mean, obviously, if he wants to see his father, you guys told me that, you just plan to meet up, and it's no big deal. So, I've read a couple of heinous things that people are saying, and it just really upsets me to know that people are just going to that without having all of the information and knowing that law enforcement has interviewed, interrogated everyone in your family. They have looked into you, they have all of your devices, and that they basically cleared you guys of any.
Once again, law enforcement has not cleared them to this day, 7 months later. I do agree with what they're saying, that if threats are going out to the family, that's wrong. We all have our own opinions of what we think is going on or what we think might have happened. But we need to leave the judgment to law enforcement. A thought I had when I was watching this video was that the Amber Alert was on the 27th, I believe. Law enforcement, when they do an Amber Alert, that means that they feel that there is some kind of abduction, foul play, something, even if they may not have evidence yet of it, but that they believe that. And I'm inclined to believe that because there was no scent picked up outside of the house, and Katie is saying that all of Sebastian's shoes were accounted for, that he had to leave barefoot. You know, what's law enforcement going to think? Some kind of a abduction. You know, they're going to look at every avenue, obviously. But, you know, I mean, he didn't walk away from that house. If he did, there would have been a scent.
Involvement in Sebastian's disappearance. And I just wanted the public to be able to hear you say that, because you do have the right to defend yourself, because it's not like you said earlier, it's not about you, it's about finding Sebastian.
Correct.
Yes.
And I just don't want to have people to be dragging you around on social media. Isn't it already difficult enough that your child is missing?
That's beyond words. This is a feeling that I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't
wouldn't
care.
wish this on
Nobody should ever have to endure. It is not something that should ever be wished upon for anyone.
Now, I do see Miranda. Miranda has a child that is special needs as well. And
unfortunately, Duchess, that is exactly what happened to the biggest extreme that I've ever seen. And it's horrible.
We've covered a case on my channel involving her child in the school system here on my platform. So Miranda is a very strong advocate for kids that have special needs and them getting fair and equal treatment. And she says, how is his skills on walking around on heels or without a trail? Because my son would stumble if he had to step over a 1-inch rock or any form of incline. So, I mean, is he able to walk good? How is he able to navigate on his own? Is he able to walk good? Can you hear me?
He was barefoot, so his walking skills wouldn't have been that great, in my opinion.
Did I lose you guys? Can you hear me? Chris, are you there? Can you hear me? Trev, are you there? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you.
Okay, maybe Chris lost signal. We'll give him a few minutes to come back. They may have had to mute out. Thank you, FarQ. I appreciate it. Chris, we're not able to hear you. They may have gotten cut out with their Wi-Fi service. So if you need to come back, please let us know. I'm going to go over here to the chat while we wait for Chris. They may have had a phone call or something to come in, so we'll give them a few minutes. No rush. Discovering the Truth said, when my son was nonverbal, he had a speech device that was supposedly blocked from the company, so he couldn't go to any websites, and somehow he bypassed it. They're smarter than you think. Wow, Discovering the Truth. That is incredible. And he is a high-functioning autistic young man. So they have and look, Chris dropped. He must have lost his signal, guys, but he'll probably come back. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Chris, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's like a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? I figured you might have lost signal.
Yeah, it's okay. It we'll figure it out. We get it back every once in a while.
Okay, yeah, I understand. I understand. Um,
He's high functioning. I mean, he's fully able to hold a conversation, and he walks and he loves to run.
okay, well, that's good. And Rhonda wants to know if he has a special button on his phone.
No,
On his phone?
I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay.
But he doesn't have his phone.
Yeah, and he left his phone at home, so he doesn't have it. Was his says, I'm local and I'm trying to get a direction. Thank you. And says something about exit 5. Are you guys close to exit 5?
No, well, that depends. You can access off of what they call New Shackle Island Road, which I believe is exit 6.
Yes, I see.
Um,
Thank you, Mrs. Clem.
yeah, I believe it's exit 6, and exit 7 will be in Indian Lake. But as far as the special button on his phone, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, me either. And I know Discovering the Truth said that, her child was able to get around the security system that they had kind of set up on the phone so they couldn't access the websites, that it was locked. And apparently he got around it and was
Okay.
able to access it. And I guess that's kind of what they were talking about, in a couple of the texts in the chat. So that's what I was trying to address, because a lot of the people that come to my streams, they have children that are also autistic. So they deal with a lot of situations, and they can understand some of the things that you maybe be dealing with at this moment. I can only imagine what you're going through, not knowing where he is.
We, without publicizing our address, best I can tell you is we are off by the beach area, and that kind of area is where
Mhm.
they've predominantly been focusing their searches.
Right.
When it comes to the special button, no. Just so some parents are aware, even if you lock down your child's phone, some children can actually turn their phone into safe mode, which would bypass the parental locks and then allow a child to go on the internet. There is a way to block that. You would have to look that up. That's too much in deep and depth to go into. But no, I mean, when I say we're strict, we lock it down. We lock it down.
Okay, well, that's good to know. David Bryant, thank you so much for being here. David says, hey, one question. Do you think he would have stuck to roads, or do you think he could have went off into the wooded areas?
That is that's hard to say. We don't really have an answer, but all I can say is every avenue is being searched, regardless of woods, roads, anything. Everything that can be searched is currently being searched.
Reckless Ellis, thank you for being here. Reckless Ellis says, I'm not saying he did this whatsoever, but I did see a screenshot from Facebook where he yelled at the news and told them to get off his property. Is there any truth to that? Well, Reckless, I'll let them speak for themselves, but if the news was on my property, I might yell at them to get off my property too.
So I have not spoke to any news crew that have been physically on my property. I have spoken to a news crew that was down the street and just asked them politely, do not film my house. They were
Mhm.
filming the police doing something, and that was perfectly okay. They gave me the words, we shook hands, and politely moved on. So, no, I mean, as far as
Thank you.
yelling at the news, no.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that. I hope that helps, Reckless Ellis, and thank you so much for being here. Um, let's see. That's right, Leave It to Beaver. These are real people. Focus on the missing baby. Exactly. Thank you for being here, Miss Chewy. It's so good to see you. That's right. We all know that the child is in danger and needs to be home where he's safe, and that's all we need to know. I just want to make sure that people understand, like, this family is really going through it, and the focus needs to be on the child. So, and we just appreciate anyone that's able to get out there. Now, do they also have search dogs that have been out helping assist in the search?
Yes, ma'am. They have brought in dogs from various locations, from I believe from even other states as well as other areas within the state. So it is deeply, deeply being checked.
Okay, I'm going back over here. I see David Bryant's left another comment in chat. Okay, gotcha. We'll keep searching, praying for your families. I just posted multiple pictures from what my dog has found searching, and you can feel free to reach out if you would like me to search anywhere. So it sounds like David may have some search dogs himself. David, if you want to send me an email, or reach out to me with Facebook Messenger if you have any information that you would like for me to pass on to the family. I'll be more than happy to do that, and we appreciate that so very much. Jennifer Jennings, thank you for being here. Jennifer says, how long has he been married to the mom? Isn't he Seth's son? Who is searching for this boy, mom, dad, or who? Well, it sounds like there's a lot of people involved, including the mother, the father, the stepfather, and law enforcement. When you say how long has he been married to the mom, are you referring to Chris on panel? Julio.
Okay, I think that at that point, we are going to go ahead and stop it there. Because it's basically coming in to opinions from her chat, and I don't want to get into all that. I don't think we're going to find out much more information from that particular thing, but we did find out a few things. And it's interesting hearing them talk. Remember, this is their actual first interview. And I'm going to look here. I believe it was on March 3rd. So, about a week after Sebastian went missing. So, we finally heard from the mom and the stepdad, Chris. Let me know what your thoughts were. Did you hear anything new? I think my big takeaway from hearing this is that they were looking into the pipes. I was a little concerned about that because I saw all these pipes when CJ and Narc Divers were out there, and I know that was a big concern for them as well. So I wondered about the pipes. So I'm glad to see that they were searching those pipes. That was really important to me. Okay, on the next video, we'll be looking at their second interview. So we will see you on the... Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.